You don't really seem nervous most of the time on stage, but do you do anything to stay relaxed or not get nervous? I have some very interesting stuff to say about this.
Hey, hello everyone. I'm kidding. Yo, I forgot the kicks. I actually have to loop.
Welcome.
I think I can officially welcome all of you to the first Yaswede Lounge podcast. I've been meaning to do this for a long while. But I've been putting it off, as any sane beatboxer does, right? We procrastinate, Man, I'm still getting used to this. Like, you might think to yourself, oh, this guy has been talking to a camera for years, which is true. But I've done a lot of live streams, you know? This is nothing like a live stream. I kind of want to imagine it's like a live stream, but it's just not. There's no one else. It's just me and this piece of technology right here, which is very strange to get used to. But today we're going to try. Again, welcome. For the people who know this, I have had this channel for 2 months now because I wanted to do reactions on this channel. And when I made the channel, the day after, I realized I don't want to do reaction videos at all anymore. So the channel was kind of chilling. I was thinking, what should I call the podcast? You know, what should I call? I was thinking Playground Podcast, but I'm branding everything Playground, which in a way it's fine. You know, it's a brand. But I thought I still have this channel. It's perfect for when I invite guests over in the future, you know, the lounge. Welcome to Yaswede's Lounge. And then in the future, I'm going to have a lounge. I'm going to have some really comfortable sofas. I'm going to have multiple mic stands and microphones. We're going to be chilling. We're going to be talking with other people. And then there's an actual lounge. Oh, everything neon. It's like in the Skyrise apartment in fucking New York or something. I don't know, man. Yaswede's Lounge could become an actual thing. So yeah, that's exciting stuff. That's exciting stuff. And this is exciting as well, right? When I was thinking of making the podcast, I saw Soso. Maybe you've seen this already. Soso, like 2-3 months ago, he made a podcast channel called Soso Talk. He was making this intro clip on video. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. There was only one video back then. And yesterday or 2 days ago, I decided, let's check if... Hey, is my camera even recording? Shit. The stress immediately begins. So yeah, yesterday or like 2 days ago, I decided to check Soso's podcast again because I was curious, right? I can't even explain it. No, I can't explain it. It's just when I saw it, I low-key got demotivated. The setup he had going is fucking insane. I'm genuinely... Like, it raises questions in me, right? Part of me is a little bit jealous. Part of me is a bit demotivated, but a bigger part of me is curious, right? Because how do you get this production in place? He has 2 people on the podcast. He has an angle on him. He has an angle on the other guy. And then there's a third angle on both of them. And I doubt Soso is doing everything himself, right? I'm sure there's some kind of production team behind it. It's very intriguing, and that's something I definitely want to work towards. But I still decided to start this one as fast as I could because I didn't want to procrastinate it any longer, right? I've been doing it for... Last year, me and Bonzo, we started a podcast. And it had potential. It was literally called the Potential Podcast, which was a cool concept, but it's not something I could commit to immediately, right? So it didn't continue. But I have been wanting to get back into it, you know? I've been scared of doing these solo episodes. Because... Just because. Just because, right? It's so weird still. I'm sure when you're watching this after, it's just going to be like... A video you normally watch, like when someone's explaining something to you, when you're watching a gamer play their video game and they're talking to the camera, like not on a live stream, right? Because on a live stream, you're still having a discussion with a lot of people, if you read the chat, of course. But it's not like you're talking to no one. Technically, I'm not talking to no one right now. Wait, technically, I'm not talking to no one right now because this video will come out and you will see it and there's going to be people and, you know, but for now, I'm talking to absolutely no one. And everyone at the same time. Isn't that super exciting? Yeah, so a couple of days ago on Instagram, I asked people to send me questions they had. I've been meaning to do a Q&A as well for the last years, but I never got around to it. Probably also because I felt like I wasn't really big enough yet, if that makes sense, right? But I'm super surprised. When I put the story, I got a lot of response, like way more than I was expecting. Earlier today, I read through all of the questions, all of them. So if you sent me a question and you see this now, then I probably will have read your messages or your questions. There were a lot of people wishing me well, a lot of people just saying thank you and saying they like my music and stuff. So thank you for that. Sometimes there wasn't a question, but still I read those messages. So I just want to express my gratitude really quickly. Thank you. Really quickly, thank you. And yeah, I have the questions. I put them on my phone and then I realized, I have to film with my phone. And yeah, so I printed the questions out. Somewhere. Can I take the microphone further with me while I look for the... Where did I put them? Shit, I'll be right back. I got them. I got the questions. Hello. Oh, shit. I put it on the wrong side. Give me a sec. Sick. Yeah, I didn't even bring the papers with me upstairs. I left them downstairs. I forgot to bring them. But now I have them. So, unfortunately, I wasn't really able to remember all of the questions that I had written down. But yeah, I don't know why the print paper is blue either. For the people wondering, I'm wondering as well. You know. See, just now in my mind, I was like, "Oh, I'll just cut this out." Very bad mindset. I'm gonna leave this in just as a practice for me. I'm gonna leave this in. I was just thinking to myself, oh, I have to cut that out. I'm so used to making videos, right? Just videos and thinking what I'm gonna say and then saying something and then not being happy with saying it. And then I edit it out or I do another take or another 5 takes or another 10 takes, right? 10 takes, right? So yeah, I'm gonna be very mindful about this as we are in a podcast. I will be cutting out the part where I get the papers downstairs because let's say I put this on Spotify or some shit, it's going to be very annoying to listen back to, right? Just a whole thing of silence. Let's get into the first question. It's a very niche question, but I'll explain it. How much do you hate the Zoya? And then I wrote second device topic. So for the people who don't know the Zoya, it was... Damn, I'm still out of breath from running up the stairs. It was a popular second device a couple of years ago. And after a couple of battles of it being used in Wildcards, it got banned very quickly because people realized how OP it was. I'm still not sure what it's able to do, but it did have some bullshit in it, right? So it got banned very quickly. And my answer to this question is, I don't hate the Zoya. I don't hate any second devices, but I do have very strong opinions about second devices and cables, right? Just as how I feel with the cables right now, I felt with the second devices back then. Back then I was a bit more hateful on stuff, a bit more, like even more expressive, just not online yet, right? But yeah, it's just something that didn't belong to me back then. The Zoya, the Helix, the SY, the cables right now-ish, the Launchpad more, right? The cables are a different topic for me, but the Launchpad felt like a second device. I mean, it literally is a second device, right? It's a separate second device. But yeah, I don't hate the Zoya. I don't hate stuff, right? Hate for me is a very, very harsh, very strong word. I know it's a bit cliche to say, like hate is a strong word, but it genuinely is, right? If you say you hate something, you better mean it, right? You better like actually have proper direction to why you hate something or someone, right? Which is even worse. What were you studying in college? So, I don't know if if they mean high school or actual college. I'll just answer both, right? Some people have called high school college, which I don't know, just to be sure. when I was in school, I didn't really have a vision of what to do exactly with my life, right? When I was, what, 15, 16, 17. And it's so weird because I'm not sure how it is in other countries, but when you're that age, society and also low-key your family kind of pushes you. They push you, right? You need to make a decision now. You need to, yeah, think about your future already, which for some kids is impossible, right? You just turned 12 years old and you have to choose your next field of studies, and everyone makes it out to be one of the end goal decisions, even though you're only 12 years old, right? 12, 13, whatever, like that range of age. And then it kind of gets pushed on you on how it's super important and you have to make this decision. It's an important decision right now. So do this, or maybe you should do this. So you don't really have an opinion properly yet, depending on the kids, right? For me, it was like this, and I'm sure for a lot of other people as well. As a kid, you don't really have a proper vision of your future. Of, do you want kids? Do you want to get married? What job do you want? What country do you want to move to? Do you want to stay in your own country? This kind of stuff, right? So, yeah, sorry, I'm kind of drifting off topic. What were you studying in college? I'm getting to this, right? I did some stuff in school until I realized, let me just do what I think would be the most fun right now, right? Like just in the last 2-3 years I had high school, I decided to do art. Like we had art history, we did paintings, like we copied a lot of paintings to learn techniques and stuff. We did a lot of drawings, we did architecture drawings. I think I did make a good decision in this regard. Like now I look at art and I like art, like I do art, right? But some painting stuff and drawings and all the history, it doesn't really interest me, right? Like I forgot most of what we learned, but I did have a lot of fun doing all the creative projects and painting and whatnot. So I do not regret having done art. Then after art, like, again, I don't know how it is in other countries, but at the end of your final year in high school, you have to do a big project. Depending on the studies, probably, right? But for art, we had like a year project, which we had to work all year on. Yeah, if people are listening to this, I just did like a exploding my brain emote with my hands, right? I'm sure there's some people putting this on in the background or playing Minecraft while while listening, right? So yeah, thank you for listening so far. Hello. Whoa, I super drifted off. I drifted off completely. What were you studying in college? The year project. We had a project we had to work on all year. And in school, I wasn't really super motivated to do anything, to be honest. I liked gaming a lot. I liked anime, right? So school was one of my least biggest priorities. I'm sure a lot of people can relate with this, but yeah, it is what it is. I was making my year project, and I made it around video stuff because back then I was already interested in making videos. I was watching a lot of YouTube, so this naturally interested me. So for art, I made a video project, which wasn't really related to my actual studies from what I have been doing. It was just mainly what I researched myself and had been practicing with. So when I did my year project, I kind of had the vision of I want to do something with video. So after high school, when thank God I passed through everything my first time around, I knew a lot of people who had to redo a year, which was such a stressful thought. I could not imagine redoing a year. I just could not imagine this at all. But yeah, I didn't have to. I succeeded. And then after high school, I went to a videography school, right? It was videography, but it was also like advertising and news. So in this curriculum, you had interviews you had to do throughout the year. You had to do like almost every kind of video media you could think of. I had to work on. I was in this school for around 3 months until I realized, wow, studying is just really not for me, right? So around 3 months of school. This was also when Corona hit, by the way, just a bit of a reference point. 2020, 2021-ish. I just started college, Corona hits, all those classes, like not all of them, but a lot of them get canceled. And then, yeah, it was weird. It was just a weird situation. So for me to not be interested in school anymore after those 3 months of school, it kind of worked out for me. But yeah, I realized I wasn't really interested in very specific things. I wasn't interested in doing what the school told me. I don't know if that's a good way to put it. I'm not sure how to say it, but there were a lot of people in that school that I just could not relate to. They were talking about movies and video like it was their life, right? And I've never had that. I didn't have that about art. I didn't have that about video, right? I liked the stuff, but the way those people were talking about it in the school, it kind of cringed me out even. But I didn't feel like I was at the right place there, right? Everyone was talking about topics I could not keep up with. a little anecdote from that. I've told this a couple of times, but in that school, we were once waiting for the next class, right? And two people in front of me were talking about a new movie that I'd released. They were talking about it. I didn't know it was about a movie, but they were talking about it. I heard them and they said, "Oh yeah, have you seen Parasite recently?" And the other one was like, yeah, it was amazing. And I look at them and I tell them, "Oh, Parasites?" And they look at me and they're like, yeah, the movie. And in myself, I was like, oh yeah, nice. I didn't want to engage further on the topic because I was referencing the anime like an absolute fucking nerd, yeah. I realized very quickly, like, I shouldn't mention what I was just thinking because they were talking, like, very passionately about our studies and the movie that just released. And I was just there ignorant about, yeah, man, whatever. I think back on it and I cringe a little bit. I was like, fuck, I'm so glad I didn't mention it immediately. Side note, again, Parasite was an amazing movie. I watched it that year probably because I heard about it. And damn, Parasite was really, really good. It's a Korean movie. Highly recommend it. Yeah. So that's what I was studying in college. Sorry for the bit of a drift off. I guess that's the whole thing about this podcasting, right? I have to drift off. I don't know. I don't have to do anything, but it's nice to talk about and drift off. There were a lot of similar questions that I got from Instagram, right? So some of them I kind of merged together. Some of them, yeah, just this. Some of them are kind of merged together. So if you ask a specific question, I'm sure some of these will answer the slightly varied question you had for me. Do you have any other passions than music and working out? What other hobbies you got aside from looping music and being and being ripped as hell? Yeah, I just copy pasted the messages into my notes. Thank you for thinking I'm ripped as hell. I just I still have a long way to go, but thank you, appreciate you. Any other passions than music and working out? I still really enjoy gaming. It's something I have been contemplating giving up for the sake of my future and my goals, right? Which I still think is a valid thing to do. But seeing that I'm able to merge it really well with the live streams and that there's still quite a few people who genuinely enjoy it, I don't really want to give up gaming yet, right? So gaming is I would say another passion of mine. It's something I've been doing for years. It's given me a lot of different insight about things. It's learned me to progress properly. Like, for instance, the From Software games, the Dark Souls games, it's taught me to keep going. And when you keep going and pursue, you get rewarded, like in a good way. Rewarded in a bad way. I don't know who gets rewarded in the... Fuck it, man. This is getting weird. But yeah, gaming. Yeah, music is something I really do. I just still really like video editing. It allows me to express myself in a different way than music, So yeah, games, video editing is still there. For the rest, I think that's about it, right? Music, working out. Yeah. And being ripped as hell. Yeah, man. Man, it's a goal for me to be ripped as hell one day. I'm getting there though. I'm getting there. Easy. A lot of people ask this one, which I think is normal, right? Why did you start beatboxing? Oh, it's multiple ones. It's a multi-parter, yeah. Why did you start beatboxing? Who inspired you to loop? Who do you hope to battle someday, and how long have you been looping? Thank you for the questions. I have been looping since 2019, and I have been beatboxing. What I'm about to say is a bit of a guess, right? But I think I have been beatboxing since like 2013, 12, 14, maybe. I forgot. I really forgot the age and the years. But yeah, exactly this. I forgot where I started exactly, but looping I started in the summer of 2019. That's very clear to me. Who do you hope to battle someday? Let me get into this part first. Who do you hope to battle someday? I recently mentioned this as well, but the battling is not something that's prioritized on my mind right now. I used to really want to battle Brez or Biscuit because I never got the chance. I battled Biscuit in the Mad Meal online one time in the top 16, and I lost with a 3-2 split decision, which was pretty cool. I thought I won back in the day, but that's for a different discussion. But I did battle Biscuit, but not really, right? And Brez as well, I never got the chance to battle him, and I always had a lot of stuff to say about everything and everyone, right? And Brez was one of those people who I just wanted to unleash on, you know? But I haven't really had that since 2024, right? Since I won, I didn't really have a specific vision about this anymore. And now, definitely after 2025, I just want to take a bit of a break from this, make music, like actually make music, make videos, expand myself in everything I'm doing right now, right? So, yeah, Brez and Biscuit were definitely one of them. Yeah, that's about it for now, I think, that I can think of, right? Why did you start beatboxing? So, when I started beatboxing in 2012, 13, 14, whatever, I was watching a lot of Call of Duty. I mean, yeah, Call of Duty probably too, but I meant specifically Codfish, right? Codfish and his Call of Duty beatbox lobbies and yeah, all the other videos I was doing around it. So Close to Toast was super big back then. Fucking Ozealous and Jerko Omegle, you know? There were all kinds of YouTubers. And since I was on YouTube like 24/7, I found them. I don't know how, but I did. It was very entertaining. Like, maybe I even found Swiss Beatbox first or something, and then I found Codfish, you know? But I genuinely couldn't tell you anymore. But YouTube, basically, a lot of different content about beatboxing, which was very entertaining for me. And that's why I started beatboxing, right? And then, to go from that, who inspired you to loop? Automatically, when you get into beatboxing, you inevitably somehow find LoopStation, right? You find the GBB loops, you find Sam Perry, you find dub effects, you find fucking the Beatbox. Let me turn this down again a bit. The music is popping off. Sorry for the interruption. But yeah, you find all these loopers, and then before I knew it, like I found Robin, his GBB wildcard. It was amazing, right? It genuinely just inspired me. And I saw all these loopers over the years, and I feel like if you're beatboxing, and if you classify yourself as a beatboxer, there will be a point in your career where you think to yourself, maybe I should try looping, right? Maybe I should try LoopStation. And I had that a lot, like constantly. It was just the RC MK1, the RC55 MK1. It was like, what, 500 euros? And as a kid, you're like, okay, I mean, impossible. So you don't get the loop for a while, and then I landed in the Belgian beatbox community in Messenger, and there was one guy who reached out to me because I was posting my own loops, right? But on an iPhone app. So I posted the loops in the group, and there was one guy who had a loop station who was already kind of solidified in the scene, right? Everyone knew him. Everyone knew he was a looper, right? Bonzo reached out to me and he was like, "Hey man, do you want to try the loop someday? Like, do you want to come over and try on my loop station?" Of course, I immediately said yes. It was a bit sketchy because I was like, what, 16, 17 maybe? And yeah, I made the decision to go to like Brussels for the first time by train, which I barely did. I barely took the train anywhere. And then I tried the loop station for the first time and I was hooked, right? I got to his place. I tried some stuff and then I made the decision in myself, like, okay, now I'm buying the loop station. Very soon I'm buying the loop station. And that's what I did. Like 2-3 months later ish, just making a guess, I got the RC505 MK1, which, as you can see, as you maybe know, it was one of the best decisions in my life, right? With the things I have accomplished and the people who have been supporting me in this thing. So yeah, super dope. That's when I kind of started looping. Not kinda. That's when I started looping, right? And that answers that question a little bit of how and when I started and why. But yeah, loopers, Robin really inspired me. I watched a lot of Slizzer, like from the GBB, right? He was one of the loopers back then who made dope-ass wildcards as well. Yeah, man. I mean, inevitably, Sorrow was there, MB14 was there. They're like undeniably one of the GOATs from back then. But someone very underrated that definitely inspired me as well back then was QnA. QnA was a beast, man. If you haven't seen the 2017 Loop Station battles of QnA specifically, he murdered. Like, he got to the final for a reason. It wasn't even close, the other battles, right? This type of battling. And he battled. Like, he actually battled, which was super fucking dope. But yeah, QnA was one of them. There were a lot of them. Like, you get inspired by so many different people, right? I find it a very interesting question when people ask me, who specifically motivated you to loop or beatbox? But it's like there's so many different artists. And the thing is, right, some beatboxers or artists will be able to tell you this specific guy is the one who sparked my everything in this specific genre, in this specific career path, right? But I can't put my finger on it. There were just so many from back then and my childhood. A lot of it is a bit of a blur, so everything kind of merges together, right? Maybe I saw QnA in 2014 and then I only saw Codfish in 2016 type shit, right? I don't know. I forgot. But yeah, I find this very interesting to look back where you came from, kinda, you know? Thank you for your questions. There are a lot of people who asked this question, why I started looping, who I want to battle, when, you know, this type of stuff. But I would say my actual career started in 2019. That's when I like actually started grinding on the loop, and I immediately joined competitions because in my mind, if I started, I started, right? If you start, it can only go up. So it gives you experience. It gives you experience. That's why I did it. I was like, okay, my first ever Belgian championships, I'm doing tag team with Bonzo. I'm doing loop station and I'm doing solo. I'm doing everything. I don't give a fuck. I'm joining. And I was absolutely dog shit, right? But yeah, it's very important to just start. And that's why, yeah, in 2019, that's why I kind of let my journey start from there. If people ask, how long have you been doing this? I say 6 years, right? Or 7 almost. I'm not sure. But yeah, since 2019, that's where everything really started for me. Isn't that nice? Let's get to the next question. I just realized, yeah, with how much I'm yapping, I got a lot of questions. How do I get better at self-control and impulse? I'm not good at saving money. That's what he said. So, let me just be straight with you. I'm not the biggest self-control guy, or like a lot of the times when I decide something, I decided, right? Sometimes I'll have these impulse things that I just kind of go into, right? Like, for example, I started this channel for reactions like on a whim. It was one day that I got the thought, and yeah, I just did it, right? Sometimes it can be a bit of a pain in the ass, but sometimes I feel like it's a good thing, right? Because yeah, it doesn't have to be negative all the time. I mean, in your case, I'm not good at saving money. I'm not a financial advisor. But yeah, this is something I suggest you do be careful with. I read this book last year called Atomic Habits, and I think this kind of classes into that. If you really want to work on your impulse control around your money, it's very important to do it in very small steps. And that's the case with everything. I'll probably be repeating myself, but if you want to quit smoking, if you want to quit something, right? If you want to spend less, if you want to work out more, it all kind of boils down to the same thing, which is taking very small steps. I'm still making these mistakes, by the way. I still make the mistakes of getting into something sometimes a bit too quickly and too much at the same time, right? So if you want to quit spending so much money, take a small step. Let's say you spend 10 euros a day on coffee. I'm just using the Starbucks example, right? You spend 10 euros a day on coffee. Maybe you can take the first small step to only get a coffee 6 times of the week, right? 6 times a week instead of every day, which means you're saving 10 euros a week. And then after 2 weeks, you decide, okay, one more day, I'm not getting the coffee. 20 euros saved in the week. And then if you really genuinely want to quit and spend less, you will be able to. But don't try to rush things, right? If one day you say, okay, I'm going to stop spending money altogether, it might have a negative withdrawal-ish effect on you, right? Some people are able to do this. They can say, okay, now I'm quitting, and then they quit. But that's not the case for everyone. So I do suggest you take small steps, right? Or you try the other option, which is quitting cold turkey, but I wouldn't recommend that. So yeah, self-control and impulse, that's my little advice to you. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. Do whatever the fuck you want, but if you want to get better, there you go. Why haven't you built the detonator again yet? Question mark. JK, real question. Thanks, Elliot. For the people who don't know, Resident Evil 9 had one of the worst gameplay parts that I have played in the recent years, which was building a detonator for 3 hours. I'm not getting into it too much. Do you think, real question, do you think you'll do some collaboration content on the streaming side of things in the future? On streaming? I was going to say I haven't thought about that yet, but I have. I've been talking with a Remix for a couple of months, but it's one of those beatboxer things. I feel like I still need to get back to him, right? We talk about something and then we kind of ghost each other. Or we set a date. We did this once. We set a date to do something and we actually like were there to do it. And then there was like one small aspect that allowed us to not do that content, and then it never went through, right? So yeah, that's fucking stupid. But yeah, I would love to. There's another question. Let me just get it down, right? I just know, which is just Oz's collab, question mark. I've been meaning to do something with Oz's as well. Because, well, he's down for it. I'm down for it. It's just, apart from a live stream, we haven't come up with a specific idea yet, right? So if you have any ideas, leave it in the comment sections below. Could be interesting. If you have any Oasis Yaswede collab ideas, could be cool. But yeah, I do think about it, right? I'd like to do something with Remix soon and then make a video out of it. Yeah, Oasis, if you know anyone else you would like to see me collab with. I also really slowly want to break out of the beatbox community. And I don't mean like leave, but I mean kind of expand, right? A bit like Barry Wom did, a bit like Mr. Wobbles did, right? Like kind of, yeah, just expand. So in the future, on this podcast as well, it would be cool if I had podcasts with let me conjure up a name that doesn't have anything to do with the beatbox community, but that's very difficult because everything in my mind is beatbox community and GBB related. Fuck it, Ariana Grande. Ta-da! She's on my podcast. Oh, hey, Andrew Tate. Welcome to Belgium in my lounge. Yeah. Yeah, fuck it. I'm making that happen. That would be fucking amazing. But yeah, I'm just saying people who don't have anything to do with the beatbox community, I think that could be very interesting to get their takes on different stuff, right? So same with the streaming, because I'm still on the question. Streaming, I would love to collaborate with whoever. Not whoever, but a lot of people, right? So yeah, it could be cool. Could be cool. For now, I'm going to be streaming a bit more by myself. Maybe very near future. Remix, Oasis, other people. I talked to Dice a little bit, and he's down to do some content as well. We just don't know what specifically yet, but yeah, this kind of stuff, right? Very, very exciting stuff. Everything is so exciting for me. Ever since I started my actual career, not 2019, but 2024, 5-ish, everything is so exciting to me. I like looking to the future. It's so nice to have experienced what I have experienced, right? Which it allows me to realize that almost everything is actually possible. So when I think about future stream ideas or future events or a set I'm doing or music visions I have, it's very exciting. Same with the streaming, right? It's just very exciting stuff. What is your favorite track you've ever produced? Your least favorite track? And a track you didn't expect to become popular at all? I don't think there's a single track that became popular that I didn't expect, right? Because I would say my main two tracks are Textures and Playground for now. And I understand why. Like, it's not like I didn't expect it, right? Playground is one of my most original pieces out there, and Textures is just all around really good, if I do say so myself. So it's not like I didn't expect it, right? Maybe Hive Mind. Like, it's something I personally enjoy, and it's a bit more of a niche genre, but I still get a lot of messages about I love Hive Mind, right? So maybe Hive Mind. My least favorite track? There have been tracks in the past that I never want to perform again just because they're such a pain in the ass. Right? So on the performance aspect, there's a couple. I quite like all of my tracks, but my least favorite one, that's a difficult one. I quite like all of my tracks. That's why I made them, you know what I mean? And then my favorite track, I would say, the Playground, right? Sometimes I do get sick of it, like probably a lot of other people. I don't give a fuck, by the way. But yeah, Playground, it's one of those, like, there's a reason the lyrics are what they are, and there's a reason it's called Playground. It's because it was such a valid song of self-expression for me. The lyrics are very related to it as well. Like, it was to spread the message, especially in that track and the techniques I used. In this track, I can do whatever the fuck I want. I can use whatever, like, spam whatever effects and techniques I want, and it will work. It's something that not a lot of people did, the hardcore, right? And again, if I do say so myself, I think it's pretty good for the genre, for what it is. And just anything had to be possible in that track, right? That's why I also say, welcome. Everyone is welcome. And don't forget to have fun. Because, yeah, I mean, it's very self-explanatory if you think about it. But yeah, Playground, definitely up there. Least favorite track, if I think of something, I'll come back to it. When to run your Bilibili account. For the people who don't know what Bilibili is, it's basically Chinese YouTube, to put it simply. And the guy who asked the question, I think last year, 2 years ago, he asked me, hey, can I put your videos on Bilibili because you have a Chinese fan base? And I was like, yeah, sure. It felt like a scam in the beginning. He sent me a message. I was like, whoa, you're just trying to steal my content, basically. But then I did some research about Bilibili and how fucked up how fucked up it works. It's not as viable as YouTube as a creator, right? You're not earning a lot. So even if they steal all my content, there's a chance they don't make anything or make like very little amount. So it's not about that, right? They're just trying to spread the us that are not Chinese, right? And don't use Bilibili. I made a Bilibili account myself to upload my own stuff, but there's so many platforms you can manage, right? I started Twitter as well for a while, but it's not something I'm into. Bilibili was like such a separate thing. Everything was in Chinese as well, so I had to use Google Translate. I just gave up, right? I forgot about it. So yeah, Bilibili, if there's Chinese people who want to take my content, do your thing. Do your thing. Sorry, I just noticed something on the back of the paper that's not related. Yeah, whatever. Sorry. I still struggle to think that I could ever better myself because I always think no matter what I do, people are going to take me for granted. What is your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on this? Jesus. I still struggle to think I could ever better myself because I will always think no matter what I do, people are going to take me for granted. It's something to very easily get lost in, right? Thinking. There's still moments where I get lost in my own thoughts and very, like, not so much as years ago, but it's very important to realize and tell yourself that it's not about other people who might take you for granted. It's about you, right? Self-improvement is about you. It's not about other people. It's not about, that. It's just about you, right? You put it very peculiar. I still struggle to think that I could ever better myself. The thing I recommend to you is to take a very small step. I don't know what your goals are at all, because you didn't mention in this specific message, but take a small step towards something you'd like to do. Let's say it's such an easy and simple example, and I will bring it up multiple times. If you want to be more fit, do like a 5-minute workout every day. Do some fucking push-ups. Do one push-up every day. You know, something so small, it wouldn't even take a second out of your day. And do that, apply that to everything you want to accomplish, everything you want to better yourself in. You want to be a better musician? Or like you want to start making music, to give a better example? Just start. Make something very small. Maybe watch a tutorial video and try what the tutorial video said. And you don't have to be there for hours, right? Take 20 minutes out of your day. Do a very small step. You're going to be fine, right? If you really want to listen to me. If you really want it, if you really want to better yourself, you will, right? You will. If you don't really want it, then it will be very clear that you don't actually want something. I've said for years that I want to do solo beatbox more, and I never have. So this kind of leads me to believe I do not think I actually really want this, right? It's still something I'm figuring out, but yeah, just to give an example. You'll be fine. If you're watching this, take a small step. towards what you want to do. Don't give a fuck about the people around you. Like, even your family. If they're supportive of you, perfect. But there's a lot of families who they don't have the vision. And you can't blame them for it, because when you have a vision, it's your vision, and you can't always force that vision onto other people, right? But if you have a very clear vision of, I want to do this, I want to be successful in this, and your family or your friends, they tell you, oh, but don't listen to them, right? Especially if they are in a position of not being where you want to go. Let me say that again. Don't listen to the people if they are not in a position where you do not want to go. Right? Makes sense, no? So just focus on yourself. Take small steps. You'll be fine. Okay, this person sent me, I think, like 4 or 5 questions, and I picked 2 of them. You don't really seem nervous most of the time on stage, but do you do anything to stay relaxed or not get nervous? I have some very interesting stuff to say about this. Let's go back, right? The first events I did, obviously, like 2019, 20, 21, 22, 23, I was very nervous. It's new. A lot of stage experiences were new for me. I wasn't used to it. I didn't have a lot of experience. In 2023, for the World Championships, I took it so not seriously that I wasn't nervous, from what I remember, at least, right? I battled Ayub and I was having a lot of fun. I was looking at the crowd with confidence, even if it was like fake confidence because I was not super prepared. But I felt good, right? I felt good on stage for maybe the first time, maybe before that, right? But I remember at World Champs, it was one of those moments. GBB 24, it was like this. I was not nervous. Again, from what I remember battling Joshua, and I was so in my element before I went on stage, when I went on stage, when I did my first track. Maybe I had little nerves, like very tiny nerves, right? But I felt quite good for 24. Same with the semi-final, same with the final of 2024. But in 2025, when I battled Mirza, I think it was the most nervous I had ever been, which is crazy to say, right? After all of that experience. But I had such a pressure of not wanting to lose in the quarterfinals. I just kept thinking for months, if I lose in the quarterfinals against Mirza, I'm going to be livid with myself. That's something I would not have been able to live with, I think. And that's what probably led to a lot of nervousness. If you saw the POV video of me, there was a lot of fuck-ups that I did, and my hands were shaking. Even in some of the vocals and performance I did, it's something I only know, so it's not something that really affected anything. But yeah, I was quite nervous. That, and for the first time in my whole life, I had dry mouth, which is fucking crazy. In a loop station battle, I was listening to Mirza's first round, and I felt my mouth get dry. I was like, fuck, it's so over for me. So this kind of led to some more nervousness. To answer your question, but do you do anything to stay relaxed or not get nervous? There's things I've tried, like breathing, like a little exercise, like talking to other people right before I go on stage. And very sometimes this helped, but this time in 2025, it didn't help at all. To counter the dry mouth, though, I drank the second day. The first day in the battle, I didn't have a choice. I just had water, which didn't really help. But the second day, when I had to go battle Dice, I asked Christoph. I figured he would know, right? Christoph, a lot of experience, a lot of stage experience. I asked him, yo, man, I had dry mouth yesterday. What should I do, drink, eat? And he said, you should probably drink some electrolytes. And then I thought, oh my god, this is the perfect country for it. Pocari Sweat. Again, if you don't know what Pocari Sweat is, it's electrolyte drink. It's a fitness drink, right? You can get it in almost all vending machines. It's quite tasty. It's very cheap. and it has electrolytes, so like sodium, salt ish, right? When you drink it, it keeps water better in your body. Same as if you put a little bit of salt in your water. I just lifted my glass for the people who aren't watching. Same if you have a little bit of salt, it keeps the water in your body better, so you're more hydrated. So if you are ever on stage and you feel like you might get dry mouth, just drink an electrolyte drink, right? Pocari Sweat, if you have the choice. Aquarius, I don't know if it's called the same everywhere, but Aquarius is a good one because it's an electrolyte drink. But yeah, just stuff like this. Drinks with hydration, right? So that's something that helped me ease my nerves, let's say. It helped me ease my nerves and help with my dry mouth. And yeah, for dice, I did a little bit of exercise because I wanted to get a pump for the round I did, but also to lower my nerves. I think it helped maybe a little bit, right? But yeah, if you're nervous, it's very difficult to get out of that nervousness. It's not something I've figured out yet. This is interesting. On your way to become a legend, how do you stay motivated when you feel tempted or giving up? Also a very good question, because yeah, there's a lot of moments, especially if you fully decide on something. I'm technically now, no, not technically, I am a full-time artist since the beginning of 2025. And since then, I don't think I've ever been as uncertain as I have been, because, well, there's a lot of stuff that comes with it, right? A lot of uncertainty. And it's just very important to remember why you're doing what you're doing. Why did you make the decisions that you have made, right? Where do you want to go? What do you want to accomplish? So if you ever get into, and this is a message for myself again as well, right? Because I know I shouldn't, and I know I shouldn't get tempted, or I know I shouldn't give up. I know this, but sometimes you lose sight of that, right? So just keep it in your head. If you stop before you make it, there's no way you'll ever find out if you would have made it, right? Wow. Hey, I'm turning into a self-help motherfucking professional podcaster right now. It's all the fucking self-improvements that's paying off in my speech right now. But yeah, no, it's just this, right? Just don't give up. Ta-da! Naruto, date bayo. Just don't give up. When you feel tempted or giving up. Yeah. Think of the alternatives as well, right? Like, if you're not going to pursue your passion, what's your alternative? Doing a job you don't want to do for the rest of your life? Listening to other people's version of what your life should be? A lot of your friends and family would probably want you to be in a safe environment. But a safe and secure environment is not something that benefits you as a human being. It's not something that benefits you, your growth, right? If you stay safe and comfortable, you're not going anywhere, because there's nothing that's triggering you to grow. There's no incentive for you to get better at things you would like to get better at, right? So a little bit of challenge is good. But yeah, the alternatives, that's what I was saying. If you give up, what's the alternative? Is that something you want to pursue for the rest of your life? Next question. What's your favorite and least favorite color combination? I quite like orange and blue. And pink and light blue. I have these lights in the background, yeah? Like these. And I can put them on so many different colors. I can put them on so many different colors, and in one of my videos, I put a light cyan blue and then like a purple pinkish. That's a very cool combination as well. And my least favorite, I know Spider-Man is fucking amazing, but blue and red, especially if it's like the very bright, vibrant variations of it, like you have the peak red and you have the peak blue, those don't mesh well, right? So they kind of battle each other. Yeah, I think that's it. Tell us something you think is off limits to do in a battle or anything like that. Off limits in a battle. Nothing. Everything is on limits. You can do whatever the fuck you want, man. No, I think like physically fighting each other, maybe. Like actually hurting each other. I think that's a limit for me. I think touching can be okay to a certain extent, especially if you're a bit closer with that person. Touching, like I know Zeka and Collapse was controversial. Abo Ice and River. Abo Ice didn't even touch River, right? But that was already controversial. Like what are we doing? How is that controversial? There's a battle happening, and then the battle where two people are battling, it gets heated for a second, and people like, yeah, there's some complaints about it that I saw. Same with Zeka Collapse, right? I like it. I've stated this multiple times. I quite like it, especially Zeka Collapse is just a perfect example, so I will keep bringing it up. You can see Collapse getting slightly annoyed, and that just adds to the overall vibe of the battle, in my opinion. Especially if, like, what was Zeka doing? He was, like, caressing his neck a little bit. It's not like he touched his fucking genitals or anything, right? It's not like he did something super inappropriate, at least in my eyes. So I think that's a bit off limits. If you really start to, right, like punch or hurt them somehow, or I don't know, tripping them, like putting your foot out so they trip, or yeah, this type of stuff. Stuff to like fully sabotage the performance, maybe. I don't know. But I think a lot should still be doable in a battle, right? What are your goals now in life? I think I kind of touched on it a little bit just now, but my goals now, I know some very vague future visions that I have, but my plans for now aren't really plans. I just want to expand myself as an artist and as a personal brand, right? I really want to make it as me. There's a lot of people who will be fine with being in a group, but I cannot envision myself in a group, right? Maybe it's a narcissistic thing or something, or like a egotistical thing, but I really want to make it as me. I want to have my own music videos. I want to have, yeah, just my own brand, right? If that makes sense, I don't know. That's my goal for now. The live streams I'm doing, the content I'm putting out, the music I'm making, which I'm making a lot. By the way, I've made a lot of songs already, which you will be seeing this year. But it's gonna take some time. But they will be coming out this year, which is super exciting because I've never made music like this in my life. And that's definitely part of what I see myself doing in the future as well, right? I've made quite a few new songs, and I want to experiment with what I will be able to do with producing and making quote unquote actual music, right? So yeah, that's very exciting to think about as well, right? Especially with what I have been making. For me, it's like my LOOPSTATION journey. I'm so itchy. Sorry, man. That's so annoying. Damn. Especially with what I have been able to make, it reminds me of my LOOPSTATION journey. Because it was low-key a bit of an ego booster back then, but people kept telling me when I was doing the MK1 and the MK2 as well, people kept telling me, wow, Yaswede, you're progressing so fast, right? And it was true. even I realized like, whoa, I really am progressing quite quickly in what I'm making here. Like every battle I had something new. I was a new version of myself, which was very exciting. And I feel the same way now with the music I'm making. Just very exciting. I think that's kind of sums it up. What my goals for now are: I want to expand. I want to, yeah, it's a bit shallow. It's a bit vanity, but I want to increase my follower count, right? I want to increase my subscribers. I think it kind of comes with it, right? It's just I just want to expand. I want people to see the things I make, right? A lot of the stuff that I make with myself in mind because I need to enjoy it. Else, what am I doing, you know? I need to enjoy it. I want to be happy with it. But I also want people to see it. I think that's maybe not for everyone, but I think that's a part of being an artist. You make something and you want to show it off, right? So that's probably why I want to expand myself on all social media platforms, because that's the way nowadays, right? You want to expand yourself. People start following you. They start interacting. Maybe you get 1,000 new followers in a month, but only 10 of those 1,000 will be actually interested in you, right? Which is perfectly fine. That's the journey. That's the slow growth. But yeah, I want to expand. I look at people like Wing a lot, and I look at them like, okay, I look at Beat Bella, I look at Wing, I look at Mr. Wobbles recently as well. He popped off. Big up to him. Congratulations, my guy. I look at Barry Wom, and I think to myself, wow, I want to move in this direction. I look at them with envy, right? Envy, a bit of jealousness in a way, like very, very little, you know, like very little, but also with a lot of curiosity and excitement, right? How the fuck did they get there? What production team is behind it? Because most of the people who go bigger, they don't produce their own stuff, right? You look at Beat Bella, there's a production team behind it. It's always in the description. You look at Wing, I mean, yeah, Wing is Beat Bella as well, but yeah, there's a production team behind it. There's people who support him, which I also want to work towards, because right now I'm so filled with, I want to say ego, right? I want to make my own thumbnails. I want to make my own music videos. I want to make my own mixing and mastering, right? That's something I don't have to do, but I do want to get better at it for now. And like, just to say, I did all of it, you know, but that's gonna be very unrealistic in the near future. I really want to start working towards finding people who want to grow with me, who want to make my music videos and edit, who want to sometimes, maybe if I do a separate video on my channel, who want to edit that, you know, maybe a live stream cut down that I don't have to do myself anymore. I love editing, but it is very time consuming, and I can only imagine how much faster I'm going to progress if I have support, right? Same with the music video I did for Trolling Again. Someone filmed it, obviously, but I still edited it. I still like put everything together, did the color grading, did the audio, did this, it's a very exciting thought to have people support and who want to be there for a lot of production stuff, you know? So that's something I want to work towards. Yep. Yeah. When is the Yaswede gym routine and meal prep dropping? Thank you, Lam. Very intriguing question. So, I want to take it as a serious question because I want to do so much, right? Sometimes I want to make gym content. Sometimes I actually want to make food videos. And that leads me to like, people have been suggesting me doing a cooking live stream on live stream, right? Live, me in the kitchen cooking. I'm very down for this. I don't think that's something that's possible for now. Like, I would rather do it when I have my own place, when I have my own kitchen, when I can do whatever the fuck I want and when I want, you know? But yeah, gym and meal prep, it varies, man. I do push, pull, and legs alternating. And meal prep, I sometimes meal prep. I've been doing it a lot less lately, but it's something that I would very much recommend. Meal prepping, every time I do it, I'm like, wow, I really should start doing this more because it's so time efficient. And like you go through the week, you take your batch of food, you put it in the fucking microwave, and you're done. It's so easy. Meal prep, I'm on the chicken. I mean, not even meal prep. I'm just cooking now, right? But I'm just doing chicken and rice again, right? A bit of sweet and sour, a bit of avocado. Yeah, a bunch of different foods. I like yogurt as well. But it varies from time to time. Damn. I just copy pasted it. It looks so... What do you think is going to be the new controversy about Loop? 2019 was second device, 2021 MK2, 3 and 4 Launchpad, 25 and 6 cables. Do you think something new is going to break the LoopStation scene in the future? So, I can imagine, yes. Maybe not next year, maybe not 27, but I can imagine in the future there will be something new. Because there always is something new. Maybe when the new... Damn. Maybe when the new LoopStation drops, if there even is a new LoopStation, right? If there is an MK3 in the future, maybe some new bullshit will be there, and then 2 cables becomes 4 cables or something, or now we can use 5 launch pads at I don't know. Anything is possible, and I can imagine there will be a new controversy. I don't know what. I could not imagine what. Maybe it's just going to be a new device that's going to be the controversy by itself, you know? I don't know. How much to go bald? How much will I sell my soul for? 10K. I'm thinking how much time it would take for me to grow my hair back to a reasonable length. And I think it would be at least a year, right? No, 10K isn't even enough for that then. 25K. If you want to see me go bald. Yeah. How do you get inspiration to make a track or a song? So, what I have been telling people for years, because I feel like a lot of people don't. One of the Belgian loopers, Silent JB, once told me he doesn't listen to music. Maybe that's changed, but I remember him saying this to me, yes? That the only music he finds and listens to is music he finds on TikTok or Instagram Reels or whatever he said. And I was like, what? Are you serious? You're making music and you're not listening to music? For me, that was a crazy thing. And I'm going to say it again. How do you get inspiration? You listen to music. You listen to the music you like or the music that you would like to make, right? Maybe not even that you like, but sometimes you're like, maybe I want to try this genre. And then you listen to some inspiration and then, yeah. I mean, where do you get inspiration from music from? For music from music, right? Also, it's not a must, but listening to other loopers can also sometimes inspire you. Like, oh, that technique sounds interesting. Let me try to make that, right? Or that genre from that specific looper is interesting. Like, loopers can inspire you as well. Solo beatboxers can inspire you. Music, why? Because it's all music. Listen to music. It's weird that I even have to say it, but there's a lot of people who don't clock this, which I don't blame you for, by the way. But yeah, get inspiration from music. That's my main advice, right? Osis collab, we went over this, already expressed my opinion in the beginning. Why don't you switch? Yes, I put this in here for satire. Why don't you switch to live streaming? I'm sure you'll be way more famous. Your character is so good for live stream clips. I've been live streaming very consistently since the beginning of 2025. Just a heads up, follow my main channel and then you'll see some of the live streams. Yeah, so I have been live streaming. I have a lot of cool clips and videos out of it, so enjoy. What's your favorite kind of cat? I don't know any cat species or like cat brands. What's your favorite brand of cat? I like the Porsche. My Porsche cat, I love Porsche cats. Cats of the brand Toyota are my favorite cars. I don't know. I like a lot of animals in general, right? And cats. There's a lot of cute ones. Cats are cats, and they can all do equally stupid shit. They can all be equally cute, right? So yeah, that's my answer. How I found this funny because it's written very. Let me. Not trying to spoil the. God damn, this paper's not folding. Hello. Look at how this is written. Please focus. How old are you actually, bruh? No comments. Are thinking of competing on solo ever? I just copy pasted the messages. I apologize. Are you thinking of competing in solo ever? I have been competing also since 2019. I just never took it as seriously as I wanted to. But I have done, I want to say I've done equally as much looping battles as I have done solo battles. I've done every Belgian championships since it released since 2019. I've done every Belgian championships in solo. I've done some solo battles in the UK, or maybe just one. I've done a solo battle in, or like Seven to Smokes counts as well, right? I've done a few Seven to Smokes as well, like one in Switzerland, one in. Yeah, I just never won anything. I got like top 8 once, top 16. You know, always at the lower ends. I always got through the eliminations because I did have like low-key entertaining eliminations, but yeah, I never took it as seriously as I wanted to. Maybe you're asking me if I will seriously compete in solo, but I have been doing a lot of battles since 2019 as well, right? How can I improve my looping? I got this question a couple of times as well. People looking for advice, like not even questions related to, yeah, whatever. I got a lot of this question, right? How can I improve my looping? And something I will keep saying to all of the loopers is fuck around and find out. Experiment. That's it. Listen to music. Experiment. That's it. You have a device with a lot of effects and a lot of possibilities and a lot of menu options. And I know it can be very overwhelming. When I first got the MK2, I was so demotivated. I quit after 1 week. You have to realize. I was like, what the fuck is this? It's so overwhelming. But that's why you shouldn't try to do everything at once. Small steps. Use it every day. Experiment. See what's possible. Maybe find some of the tutorials that are online, right? And experiment. That's the best way to find out, first of all, your own style. And also just a lot of original techniques, right? If you keep listening to other loopers, if you buy a lot of presets, then chances are it's going to be a bit more difficult for you to find your own stuff, right? Makes sense, no? So I do recommend just to experiment before you try to copy or buy something. I know I sell my own presets and I will be promoting it a lot because, well, it is very helpful for me, right? But if people are interested in my LOOPSTATION presets, when they're in my DMs, I always tell them, before you buy anything, I recommend you just experiment before you get anything that's mine, right? Please experiment first. Maybe you will realize you don't even need presets. Maybe you realize, yeah, that just this. Maybe you don't need them. Maybe you don't need presets. Maybe you don't need presets. I just said the same thing 4 times. I cannot believe it. Yeah, just this, man. Experiment. I will keep saying this until the end of fucking time. What did your parents think when you started beatboxing, and what do they think about it today? First of all, I don't have a dad, so that's a thing, right? So it's like more. What did my parent think? I don't know. It's very weird to look back on because my little brother, I always like showed him stuff and put stuff in his face and look what I can do now. And I showed him beatbox videos but he couldn't really give a fuck. Like even today, like he will show a little bit of interest, but it's not like he actually cares. That's a bit of a harsh way to put it. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's not one of his interests, right? So He's indifferent. He's indifferent towards when I was doing beatbox and looping. My mom was never against it. I would say she was supportive, but yeah, she wasn't against it. Let me just put it like this. Also a bit indifferent, right? I was always doing my own thing and beatboxing, and so it's not like I was ever. It's not like I was ever like put down for it immediately, right? I do think I got some doubt, and yeah, everything's so vague, right? I think back on it, and I just can't pull out specific memories, but maybe we did have some conversations about, yeah, but you can't do this for the rest of your life, or you can't do this seriously, or you need to work, like, and sure, you need to work in some specific, like in some scenarios, depending on who's the person, right? But I do think we had this, like, yeah, it's fine if you do it on the side, but I can't remember. Probably we had, right? But I never let that affect me too much, as we can see. And what do they think about it today? Well, I'm now with my grandparents, and I recently had a conversation with my grandpa. Sometimes he will start a conversation with me very skeptically, and this happened recently as well, where he bluntly said to me, "Ilya, I don't understand what you're doing. In my eyes, you're doing jack shit." Right? Because I haven't had a job since 2023. I started as a self-employed artist last year in the beginning. And I've been working a lot just on stuff here in my room, right? I've been filming a lot. I've been making a lot. I've just been making a lot of stuff, right? Working towards my future. And that's something he doesn't see or even understands because he's a bit older, right? I think he's 70 now. It's crazy to say if I think about it. But yeah, he bluntly said, like very angrily as well, he doesn't understand. Like he's very concerned about my income type stuff, right? So even after I explained it seriously recently and offered him to show him what I do exactly, he still doesn't understand. He's not supportive of it at all because he can't see anything else except for a full-time job. Right? He can't see anything except for actual labor. Again, that's not something I'm blaming him for, but that is very frustrating sometimes, right? How close-minded my family can be. So yeah, I would say the one who has the most critique on what I do is my grandpa. My grandma as well, but a bit less. But she also doesn't really understand, and she's also very strongly of the opinion, like, shouldn't you start working now? Or it's impossible for you to do this. They don't believe, they both don't believe that stuff like this is possible, which is crazy because daily they watch television. And what comes on television? All kinds of stuff related to what I do, in a way, right? It's entertainment. Actors, people who produce Belgian TV programs, they watch all this kind of stuff. Celebrities in Belgium. And they still don't believe it's possible. Like there's some celebrities who are everyday people in Belgium, and they still don't believe like it's possible because they never had something like this for them. They probably didn't have a lot of support coming their way either, right? Again, it's not something I blame, but it is very sad that they're not willing to try and open their minds for it, right? Especially after all these years of me low-key pushing it in their face. Like, it is possible, right? It's just they choose to be ignorant. That's what it is. That's just what it is. So yeah, the question was, what do they think about it today? Parents, family, whatever. That's it, right? They're not necessarily not supportive, but they don't understand. They can't actually fully support it, in a way. Are you allergic to peanut butter? Peanut butter! Nutella. To my knowledge, I'm not allergic to anything. So that's a mega bonus for me. Should the loop station category be split into 2 categories? This is something I think about regularly as well and have discussed with other people. Does it have to be? I think that's still a maybe. Would I like for that to happen? Fuck yes. In this specific question, they framed it as MK1 and MK2 for now. And I think that would be so interesting. After years of second device and super production, it would be so interesting to hear MK1 battles again, like full MK1 battles. The problem with that is we're going to see very quickly how little of competition there is, right? Epos would be good at this. Biscuit would be good at this. And then what? I can count maybe 5 other people who have an MK1 still, you know? So it's very difficult to manage and to actually plan out. Like, let's say in the World Championships, they decide to do this. The next World Championships, they decide to split it up. How is that going to go, man? Like, you're going to have 100 MK2 people who want to participate and then 6 MK1 people. It's going to be very strange and it would not be much of a competition. Like, hey, I won the MK1 loop station category out of 6 people in the entire world. I don't know, man. It's a bit... Maybe there are more people than I think, but I would love to see it. Personally, I would love to see it, and I would even consider trying it myself, right? I think it could be interesting for sure. Because MK2, like discussed a lot of times, it is such a wacky device, man. Sometimes I look at my performances or some videos without the loop station audio and I think to myself, what the fuck are we doing? You know what I mean? It's so stupid. It's absolutely stupid if you think about it. That's why I pride myself on my performance so much, right? I try to not think about the actual techniques anymore. I try to actually listen to what I've created and how I perform it and present it to the world. Because if you genuinely just only think about the loop and what we're doing and inputs, and then you start to think like, what is still loop station about this? What is still beatbox about this, right? It's such a valid topic, and I would love to discuss it further with other people in the future. Because I know there's a lot of visions on it, a lot of visions. Like Biscuit said he did the MK2 for a while and he didn't like it, and I don't blame him, right? It's a choice. It's interesting, but yeah, on the MK1 it already started going downhill because you had the feedback 100 granular delay and stuff, and this was already a path towards electronic, no loop, no beatbox. Because we talk shit about the MK2, but the MK1 also had some stuff, right? You would just do a and there's a bass line. Is that beatbox? Not at all. Like, you can't even argue it. And you can argue it's still all from the mouth, which technically it is. And MK2, same thing. Technically it is. But let's be honest here, right? A granular delay that you trigger with that's not beatbox. That's not all from the mouth. Right? Again, it's a topic I would love to discuss further with other people. Could be very interesting. What was the question? I forgot. Split into 2 categories. Yeah, on the MK1, there's also some questionable stuff. That's all I'm saying. Who is your favorite looper? In 2023, it was Dice. Because he just had a different mind when it came to the MK2, right? Everyone sounds the same, and then there's Dice. Such cool sound design, very different. You hear him and you're like, yeah, that's Dice, right? And same in 2025 last year. I really like this stuff. It's very out there. And I really enjoy the tracks he does decide to do, right? So I really personally enjoyed Dice. I love QnA as a looper, right? His kickback stuff was very good. His 2017 battle mode was fucking amazing. And he also thinks differently. He has different music ideas. Yeah, just crazy stuff. Like there's some really good loopers out there, new from back in the day, like Martin Benatti, incredible looper. Not someone I immediately connect to, or I could say that's my favorite looper, but it's same with Saro, right? I can acknowledge they're very good in what they do. They have made some incredible music, but yeah, I can't immediately say that's my favorite looper, right? Same with MB14 in a way. Again, I love his stuff, but yeah, I connect more with Dice. I connect more with QnA. Maybe I just like the underdog a little bit more. You know what I mean? I think that's a very valid thing. I think I like the underdog a little bit more. So yeah, they're pretty cool. Can't think of any others at the moment. So yeah. Dude, I have so many questions for you. I copied this. And then I wrote I wrote down, bro sent 4 questions. Okay. I want to start making content, but I get so critical of myself and insecure. Have you felt that way? How do you overcome or combat it? So critical of myself and insecure. Yeah, I mean, maybe there's some prodigies who make content and music who don't think that way. But I would say it's a normal thing, right? You make something, and it's a good thing that you're critical of yourself, because that means that you care. You care about what you want to put out in the world, right? You care about it, which is a good thing. Getting too critical, that's a different topic. So what's important is to learn how to draw the line. It's something I still regularly do. Like, okay, now I need to stop editing this video. Else, like, there's no point, right? But critical, I think it's a good thing to have, right? The most important thing is to just start. If you have a video idea, just make it and post it. Maybe it's horrible. Maybe it's really bad. Maybe this live stream that I'm doing, not even live stream, this podcast that I'm recording right now, maybe this is going to be very bad. Maybe I'm going to get 20 views, right? Especially because it's the first episode. Who knows what's going to happen? But it's important you take that first step and actually upload what you make and actually make it, right? Even if it's, like, it doesn't matter what, just start. And then the more you do this, the more you will have the experience of making the content you want to make, right? And you'll learn to be critical in places where you need to be critical. Maybe you can rewatch your video 5 times before you post it and think to yourself, maybe this text can be a little bit lower. Maybe it can be a different font. Maybe the color grading can be different. Maybe I should record a quick extra shot for this specific video, right? So, something small. You're going to learn how to be critical in good ways. Just very important not to overdo it, because that's how stagnation happens. If I want to become a musician and I want people to listen to my music, it's important to start posting your music. If you made a song and you are proud of it, put it out there, right? Even if you think it might not be up to standards, there's no way you'll ever get feedback from anyone if you don't show it to other people, right? And sometimes feedback will come in the form of hate, but then it's also very important to maybe look at the hate comments and take it as feedback. Maybe they will say, wow, this color grading sucks. Maybe you can review your color grading, right? Maybe you don't have to. Maybe you're genuinely happy with it, but maybe you can objectively look at your video again and make some adjustments, like afterwards for the future, right? Learn from it. Learn from the feedback you get. Learn from the comments. Learn from yourself. Same with music. If you want to get inspiration, you can listen to other music. If you want to make a specific style of video, pull up another video that's exactly like it. Maybe copy it even, right? The structure, the structure. Try to copy the color grading. Try to copy the angles, some stuff, right? Just try to inspire yourself and make it. Important thing is just to start. I don't remember who sent this exactly, but you feel critical of yourself and insecure. That's the way to combat it. It's just to start. If you don't start, you'll never know anything. Maybe you can send whatever you want to make to a friend. But like a good friend. Some friends will not really be friends and they will critique it or laugh at it or whatever. But if you know you have a good friend, send it to them. Maybe join a Discord if you don't have any friends. Perfectly fine. I'm not even saying it as a joke, right? If you don't have any friends, that's like, whatever. If you want to join a Discord, you can send it there. I'll put the Discord link in the description from our Discord, right? Sometimes if you want to make something, it's important. Not always, right? If you feel established enough to trust yourself, just make it. But in the beginning, if you're very unsure, send it to someone. Try to get some feedback and then go from there, right? Just start. Please, people, just start making your fucking art, right? Just start making your art. There's so many, and again, I don't blame them at all because we've all been there. I've been there. You're scared to upload. You're scared to make your song. You're scared. You're just scared to make what you want to make. But please just start. How will you know anything if you don't start? How will you improve if you don't learn from mistakes? If you don't start, you can't make mistakes, right? So how can you learn from them? Shit, man. Just start. Just make your music, make your art, make your whatever the fuck you want to make. Make your fucking crocheting hat you want to put on for Christmas. I don't know, man. Just start. Maybe get some feedback from other people. Objectively look at it and then just post. Don't wait too long. Just keep posting. Even if it takes 5 years, right? Realistically, most of the time, that's how long something at least takes to get good at, to get proper feedback, to get a fan base, to get improving for yourself. It's just start, man. Just start. Thanks for being here still in the podcast. I hope you're enjoying it. Hope you're playing Minecraft while listening to it. That's something I would do. I would put myself, when I post this video, I'm gonna put myself in the background and I'm gonna play Minecraft. Ta-da! No, I'm not in the Minecraft phase right now. Okay, and then you had another question. How has fitness and exercise changed your life for the better? Does it make it easier to focus on other things? What fitness has done for me, I would say, is... I mean, obviously, I've learned... Okay, wait. Okay. Let me start from the beginning. Fitness allowed me to learn about a lot of different things that I never knew about. Again, it's always so family related to me, but growing up as a kid, you don't know shit. And if your family doesn't know shit, then you will know even less, right? In my case, what I'm trying to reference here is nutrition. I've learned so much about nutrition in the last 2 years, and I'm still continuing to learn new things. Something my family could, or even some friends could never have taught me this, right? So that's something that fitness has done for me. I learned about a lot of body stuff, about a lot of nutrition. Yeah, that. So I got a lot of knowledge out of it. Obviously, you work out to some extent for the health benefits. Even if you don't want to work out for health benefits, you will get health benefits from it, right? You're getting stronger. Your body will be more resilient. You will look better and more confident objectively, right? If you have a better posture, if your tits pop out a bit more, it will kind of give that extra confidence. Not only will it look that way to other people, but you will be more confident yourself, right? I've gained... That's what I wanted to say. I read this question earlier and I was thinking and then I thought of it and then I forgot. And here we are. Something fitness has given me as well is a lot of extra confidence, right? I've gotten a lot of, and it's a lot of like fans and ego boosting, but still it means something to me. A lot of people who notice I bulked up, who notice I gained some muscle, and then people will say, hey man, you're ripped, you look good. And then it kind of boosts my ego, but it gives me more confidence, right? Because it's not so much vanity anymore. It's not purposeless to have muscles, right? Sometimes people will argue, oh, but why? What's the point of having muscles? It's so... First of all, it's very fucking functional for living longer and for just being more resilient in your everyday life. That, yeah. But yeah, a lot of people look at it like this. So for me, it's nice to see and hear that what I've been working on for like very consistently for almost 3 years now is paying off in health, in strength, in visual, in other people's eyes. It's very nice to see the progress, right? That's one of the most addicting things about working out. It's the progress. I remember my newbie gains in the beginning. I was working out and I was progressing so fast because when you start working out for the first time and building muscle, everything moves very fastly. Like one day, like first day, you're maybe lifting 30 kilos and then a couple of months pass and you're like 50 or 60 kilos. Especially if you're eating nice, progressing so fast. The gains in the beginning are very motivating. If you keep it up for like a week is a bit short. Let's say 3 to 4 weeks, you will see results. You will feel better. You will, I want to say look better, but that's also a bit short. But you will feel the strength improving, right? So yeah, that's some of the things that really benefited me. That's what fitness allowed me to benefit from. Yeah, English. Super sick. Fitness, I couldn't recommend it enough. There was a study done, which is very interesting. People with, you know the thing called thick thighs save lives? It's a thing, right? If you have stronger, thicker thighs, be it fat or muscle, you will live longer because there will be less deaths regarding falling over. There's a lot of people, you see old people, you see walking like, yo, what the fuck? Perfect example, man. Me and my little brother went to the gym today. We were waiting in a parking. I was gonna pay for the parking or get a ticket or whatever. And there were 2 people in front of me. And those 2 people suddenly went to the right. And I saw to the right, an old lady had just fallen to the fucking ground. Like a very gray, like low-key balding lady. She looked very old. Fell to the ground. And why is this? Sure, age. But if you worked out, even in your later years, and built some muscle, there's a less... the probability of that happening is way smaller, right? So if you have muscle in your body and in your legs, you will live longer. Should live longer, right? If you get hit by a truck, unfortunate. But yeah, the lady from today is a perfect example. What the fuck? I forgot about it. So yeah, fitness, would recommend. What game genre do you like the most? I would say I can get into all game genres. But if I really, really like something, it's an RPG game. Something that allows me to customize my character. The progress in it is just amazing, right? Dark Souls has this, and you get all the stats, and you can choose whatever you put. You can put your weapon, you can choose your outfit. Same with, oh man, I want to do this on stream soon. I want to play Baldur's Gate 3 again. Put like 90 hours in it, and I loved it, right? The way you can customize everything, the way it's so much can happen, right? The RPG aspect is so addicting. It's so free, right? I love RPG games, but like sometimes I like some Rocket League, which has been a while, some Rocket League. I like some Minecraft. I can get into all kinds of games. Like I could get into a card game. I recently played Dispatch and I got into the gameplay quite quickly, right? The story aspect is super cool. The Telltale type gameplay I'm really into. The gameplay in the beginning, like the actual dispatching, was a bit boring, but it's different. I feel like I can get it into everything as long as it's good. Does that make sense? Same with TV shows and movies and whatever. I don't care what genre it is. Like, I can watch a romance, and if it's a good movie, it's a good movie, Doesn't really matter, I think. I mean, I can be into anything. What games do you play? I kind of answered that just now, didn't I? At the moment, I started The Wolf Among Us, which I do plan on finishing. I'm just not into a live stream mood right now. Been hardcore editing videos. The Wolf Among Us, sometimes I play. I just said it, man. I play all kinds of video games, whatever. Where did you learn the basics of looping? Other than YouTube tutorial, if that's the case. And where did you learn the skills that allowed you to start creating your own tracks and sound design? Yeah, how and where did you learn? So I already mentioned this, but Bonzo, he gave me a lot of tips in the beginning, right? He taught me about the EQ, high pass. Just made a realization for myself. The EQ and high pass filter kick, to have it punchy on the MK1. He taught me a lot of stuff in the beginning. And yeah, a lot of basics, some EQ tips, But after a while, I really started to just progress on my own, making my own stuff and experimenting with a lot of different effects. Especially in the MK2. I don't think I watched any tutorials or had a lot of help. There were very small aspects of some sound design that I needed, but 95% of what I made on the MK2, I was just experimenting, and using the basics, what I gained from the MK1, into that. Right? The rest was just the rest was just trying shit out. And obviously, I did some covers on the MK2, which allowed me to experiment more. I did some covers, which I just said that, which it just allowed me to experiment with different ideas. Where'd you learn the basics of looping? Yeah, Bonzo helped me, MK1, right? I never really watched too many tutorials or even mixing tutorials. I just couldn't be fucked. It was so boring to me that I never did it. So yeah. That's it. Have you taken any risks with your music career that actually paid off? Very, very sick question, right? I've been watching a lot of business and self-improvement videos over the last year. Something I constantly hear is you need to be willing to take risks because that's where growth happens. And I am very aware of myself that I'm sometimes very comfortable and I'm scared to take risks. Like for me, the podcast channel that I'm now will be starting is a risk for me. No, you know what? No, never mind. It's not even a risk. It's just something I'm scared to do, but it's not a risk. Because a risk would have negative benefits on me. Which this doesn't. If this flops, it's fine. Nothing happens, right? So no, never mind. It's not a risk. But the biggest risk I did take, I worked a full-time job for almost 3 years until I realized, wow, this sucks ass. Is this really what I'm doing with the rest of my life? Like, I felt like such an ant, right? All these other people. There were people in my job who sometimes bragged to me, yeah, I've been in this job for 40 years. Bitch, what? And those words play in my head like, how are you able to stay here in the same position for 40 years? And I'm not trying to shame those people, right? It's just something I can't get into anymore. There's people who need to feed their families, who have kids, who have a wife. See, I just said the same thing 3 times. Podcasting is easy. People who need to feed their family, right? They need to pay the bills, and that's maybe why they keep their job. But then they don't have a different passion on the side. They just have their job and their family. It's something that demotivated me so hard that before I knew it, I had made the decision to fully quit my job. Like that. Immediately quit. I mean, not immediately. Let me. I got it in my head and I was like, okay, I have made the decision. Like, it was so clear, right? And I was so nervous as well because I knew my grandparents would be furious. They wouldn't understand. Which they were, by the way, when I told them. But the click made. I made the click in my head. Then the same week, I went to work, maybe 1 or 2 more days. I told them, I want to quit my job. They helped me with the papers and everything. And before I knew it, the next week, on the 1st of the 1st of May, 2020-23, I quit my job. I didn't have a job anymore. I told my grandparents, they were fucking furious. But I did it with the idea of, which was a bit of an excuse back then because I didn't have that many events or opportunities yet. But that year, the World Championships happened, a UK battle happened, and that's it. And I told myself, if I quit my job now, I will be able to fully focus on those events. Right? And I kept imagining, if I keep working this job, then I would have to make excuses for my career later. Oh, I'm sorry, man, I can't go to Japan because I have a job. Oh, I'm sorry, man, I can't go to the World Beatbox Championships and participate and maybe win because I have a job. It was so clear to me what I needed to do, right? And let this be a message as well. Don't do what I did. Especially if you live by yourself or maybe you're studying, don't quit your job immediately, like out of nowhere, because if you do need money and you don't have anything saved up, you're gonna be fucked. If you live alone, if you have a family and you're just quit, you can't be doing that, right? I am very grateful that I did have the privilege of being able to do this and focus on other things. And looking back on it, if I was able to keep working a little bit more and work on my stuff on the side, it would have been very beneficial for me because I would have had a more stable income for a while also progressing what I'm doing here. But then again, the counter, if I never quit my job, I never would have known so many things. I would have stayed ignorant for so much longer. I wouldn't have learned about my body. I wouldn't have learned about nutrition. I wouldn't have learned that I actually want to progress in what I'm doing here. I wouldn't have learned about getting older and that there's a lot of things you can do to actually like prolong your life a little bit, which is very interesting. It's a very interesting topic for me. I wouldn't have my driver's license either because that's something I've put on off for years, and quitting my job back then allowed me to, for a little bit, fully focus on just, okay, I'm getting my driver's license right now. It allowed me to take a step back and focus on what's important. Or not focus, but like learn about what's important for me. Because when you're in a full-time job, that's most of the time everything that's going through your mind, right? Sometimes you work weekends. I worked in shifts as well, which was even more fucked up. Like sometimes in the morning, sometimes in the evening. So I worked in shifts, and that never gives you a chance to fully recover, fully take a step back. Even if you're on vacation for 2-3 weeks, you're still thinking about your job. Oh no, after my vacation, I'm going to have to work again. So quitting my job allowed me to take a step back, see the bigger picture, and take little snippets of that picture, which were important to me, right? It allowed me to focus on more important stuff, which is why we're sitting here today. Maybe I wouldn't have been here today. Maybe I wouldn't have won GBB. Maybe I wouldn't have done anything you have seen from me for the last 2 years, which is such a depressing thought, man. Just imagine. But yeah, no, I'm glad I quit my job. Yeah. What was the question? Yes. Risks with your music career. That was my biggest risk so far, quitting my job. And it paid off, right? I've been in a position where I could have made that decision. Not everyone has that decision, has that privilege of making that decision. So I'm very grateful I was able to make that. Yeah, very good question. Very good question. Risks. People, take risks. Try to be a little objective when taking the risks, because you can take risks, but the risk can be like 90% negative and like 10% it will pay off. But if you can gauge like, okay, 50-40, 40-50, 50-50, right? What am I saying? 60-40. Yeah, whatever. You get what I'm saying. Yeah, take risks. Take risks. Take risks in your music. Take risks in finding new stuff. Yeah. And that's, again, another message for me, because I still need to take more risks to improve as a human being. I'm not able to remember the beats I want to record or show off to people. Very simple answer. Yes, the question here is, how do I remember my beats, basically? That's what I got it from. If you're watching, but just for anyone, right, who wants to remember their music, just record it. If you make a beat from beatboxing and you want to remember that pattern, just record it. You have a little recording app on your phone. If not, get one. Record. Save it. Give it a little name to remember by. Re-listen to it. Practice every day, right? And you'll remember. Easy. What is the first thing you would What is the first thing you would recommend to someone who wants to start looping? Ah, shit, here we go again. Let me take a sip of water, man. My throat, wow. I'm gonna I'm going to need to get used to this. Wow, whatever, man. Yeah. Question is, first thing you would recommend to someone who wants to start looping? Experiment. I can't not say it anymore, man. Like, just experiment. Try stuff out. Experiment. And actually do it. Like, you know, loop every day, or like loop very consistently. Learn the basics. If you don't have basics of beatbox, learn that first. Like, learn the basics of beatbox. If you want to do beatbox looping, if you want to just do singing, looping, or whatever, or production, whatever. But if you want to do beatbox looping, learn the basics of beatbox, and then your loops will automatically sound way better immediately, right? If you do a like, it can be good, or it can be a you know what I mean? So yeah, just practice the basics. Practice looping, get used to the device, you know. If you're bad with timing, practice the timing, listen to the metronome and beatbox to the metronome type stuff, loop to the metronome. Very important. Very important. What's your favorite beatbox sound and what's your best loop routine? My personal favorite loop routine, I think, is Reality Check. It's so flexible. If I want to make it as a actual music piece, it works. I can change the lyrics for that. If I want to battle whoever, I can change the lyrics perfectly to whoever I need to battle. It has hip-hop in the beginning. It has organic beatboxing in the beginning. Not sequenced, not super produced, just... You know, I'm very proud of that. The structure is it's amazing. I don't give a fuck. The structure is amazing. I'm so shocked that I was able to make it work, right? I'm very proud of it. The rapping in the beginning, the techno build-up to go into the hip-hop rapping, to then go into techno, to then go into up-tempo, to then go back into beatboxing. It's my favorite thing, routine, right? It's not super difficult to perform either, which makes it even more enjoyable for me. And I can just have fun with it, you know? Reality Check for me, on top. Beatbox sound, my favorite one. Yeah, it's very fun to do. We're almost through the questions. I can't believe it. But yeah, that's a pretty fun sound. It's based on Kaji, but I would say it has my own flavor, you know? I like beatboxing as well. Just playing around with the snares and the quality of it. You know? Just the basics of beatboxing are very, very fun as well. Damn. Best showcase that you enjoyed the most, done by our own and saw it from someone else. Okay, what's your own favorite showcase and what's the showcase you liked watching the most? So, I think my favorite showcase... 2. I did one for Battle of the Year in 2024. Before GBB even. And at that event, Skiller told me, after he heard my looping, Skiller told me, bro, you're winning GBB. And I gave him a hand. I was like, thanks, man. And I won GBB. So that's fucking cool. But yeah, I did a showcase there and I look back at the videos and a lot of stuff on it was just so on point. I performed amazing. I looked amazing. The video quality was amazing. The audio quality was fucking amazing. Everything about that video and showcase was really, really good. Except for the end parts on my end. Some weird stuff, but whatever. I really enjoyed that showcase. I did a showcase for Italian champs last year as well. April, I think. And before I knew it, I almost hit like 1 hour of showcase. So yeah, that was a fun showcase because I did a round, I did another round, I did another round. Then I get onto the party mix, then I did the whole set that I have. And it gave me like almost an hour. And it didn't feel like it, you know. People were having fun. People afterwards told me as well, like, bro, that was fucking crazy. You almost went for an hour. That's crazy, right? So Italian champs, battle of the year. That was really fun. That was really fun. And a showcase that really shocked me at Loop Mayhem 2024 was Christoph. I did not see that looping coming, man. Like, he had a lot of fast-paced stuff, drum and bass, and some techno and some... It was very surprising. The sound quality was amazing. Sounded better than everyone there. Christoph set was very, very dope. That's the one I think of straight up. I've always wanted to ask what is the best way to actually get started with beginning with LoopStation. Composing and production, other than the endless hours of mindless obsession. Bit of a lyric reference there. And the reason I put this question like this in it is, that is it. Endless hours of mindless obsession. You need to put in a lot of hours, man. If you want to be better at production, look at production stuff and experiment with your own effects. If you want to get better at looping, let me say it again. You need to experiment. You need to practice. You need to loop consistently. And you need to fucking experiment. Thank you. Yeah, I didn't realize how much I put the same question in. So yeah, if you want to be better at composing and production and looping, endless hours of mindless obsession, my friend. Have you ever done a solo battle or made any solo battle routines? I already answered this question basically. And I have made a couple of solo routines, just like only 3 or 4 in my 6 years of beatbox. So yes, I've talked about solo battles already. Here's my question, haha. Have you heard of a game called Geometry Dash? You should play it. Well, it's just a recommendation, but it's an amazing game. It's my favorite. I do know Geometry Dash, and I have played it, but when I was like 12 years old, you know? Maybe I'll do it on stream someday and make a challenge of it with beatbox. I don't know. I can see. Glad you like the game so much. How did you get into bodybuilding and the inspirations behind your Ziz track for GBB? Just fitness, right? I've been working out for, 3 years now? And bodybuilding kind of came with it automatically. Before I knew it, I got I started researching how to gym and how exercises worked and what I should eat and bulking and cutting and everything around fitness, right? So ultimately I find a lot of bodybuilders, which also inspires me because there's a lot of freaks out there, a lot of crazy, massive guys, right? So it unintentionally started inspiring me. I learned about Ziz, I learned about the meme, right? So, yeah, just that. It just slowly came with my gym progress, and then I implemented into Loop. And that's it. What is something I wouldn't believe about you? That means I have to tell a weird truth. You're trying to trick me. What is something I wouldn't believe about you? Okay, what is something someone wouldn't believe about me? I mean, maybe the fact that I'm 46 years old. My question is, are we allowed multiple questions? Yes. What you have more, question mark, comma, your RC505s or gaming console? Loop stations. I sold my PlayStation And the only thing I still have is my Nintendo Switch. And I have 4 loop stations. So, yeah, loops. What would you say the best way to start as someone that's never done music before is? It's a bit of a different question. But the answer is once again the same. Just start. I never knew music, right? I would say I have like a bit of a natural knack for it when I started in the beginning. Like, because I listened to music, I liked music. When I was a kid, I sometimes danced a little bit. I vibed, you know. But if you don't know anything about music, which I didn't know either when I started beatboxing and looping, I just did, you know. The best way to learn is, especially if you don't want to get into super tutorials and music lessons, because realistically, who wants to in the beginning, is to just listen to music and try. Listen to music and then experiment. Is music theory and music lessons and like actual lessons a good idea? Probably. Not something I ever did, so it's not a necessity. But it probably will be able to boost you very well if that's something you want to do. Bro asked 5 questions. That's what I said. Have you ever... I picked 2 of the 5 questions. Have you ever worked in content creation or video editing? Your vids have a really high production level, and what I know, I don't think you have an editor. One of my videos was edited by a kid from America, Ryan. But all the rest, yes, I have edited myself. Like I said earlier in the podcast, I did video in college for a little bit. And I did learn quite a bit from film and angles, and we learned in Premiere Pro as well, which probably gave me some basics. But all the other things you see, I've been learning over the years, just slowly, you know, and experimenting myself in DaVinci, because I switched from Premiere to DaVinci. But yeah, no, I don't have a job in it. I don't do jobs for other people. I never did, so I've only been doing it for myself. Thank you for the question. Cool. If you gain the ability to time travel to any point in history and tell one beatboxer, looper, of your choice, only one thing, who and what would it be? No idea, but I want to tell you about a little fantasy I had when I was still on the MK1. Sometimes I made some MK1 stuff, and I thought to myself, like I would imagine it, right? If I was able to go back 3 years in time with the tracks I have now, I would win GBB 4 years in a row, right? I kept thinking about it. I think it's so interesting. Like, imagine me and Biscuit on the MK1 back then, but we participate in 2016. Wow. That would be so interesting, because no one would see it coming. The delay tech, the full EDM, the more produced stuff. It would be very interesting to see. Because that didn't happen a lot, you know? Pancakes kind of made the first step towards like EDM and more production, but it still sounded quite shit, right? But back then it was super dope. I mean, some of the things are still dope, but yeah, whatever. You get what I'm saying. Travel to any point in history and tell one beatboxer looper of your choice only one thing. Who and what would it be? I honestly have no idea. To any point in history. Shit, man. Probably if I watch some beatbox content, I will be able to make up my mind, right? Like, oh, if I was there at this moment and this beat... Yeah, I couldn't tell you right now. I'm very sorry. Do you like Deutsche Krach? So, I probably make myself... I probably make it seem like I'm more of an up-tempo fan than I actually am. The only reason I know about Deutsche Krach is because I hear it being said in up-tempo music sometimes. And I still don't know what it is. I'm sure it's a subgenre of up-tempo, right? And I have seen it in memes and reels, but I don't actually know what it is. Maybe I've heard it like accidentally, you know, but I've never known actually what it is. So I can't tell you if I like it or not. Very sorry. And now, for the very last question. You participating in GBB 26? Question mark? If yes, we need more strong zero. Fuck yeah. I don't know if they have strong zero in Poland. It would be very funny if they do. If someone wants to bring me some strong zero, please do. We can have a good time together. Obviously, this is a rage bait question. I'm not gonna be participating in the GBB 26, but I will be there to vibe and chill and have a good time, right? So I hope I will see you there. I've been through all of the questions. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I went through all of the responses I got, all of them. I think I got at least 50 plus different questions and messages, and which is super dope. Thank you so much. Helps my first episode. Maybe I cut it into 2 or 3 episodes if I'm greedy. I'll think about it. I'll see what I do. But yeah, I'm slowly going to round off the podcast here, I think. I don't think I have anything more to add. I just want to thank everyone again for the questions, right? I'm going to thank everyone for the questions, for the support on all the other videos I have been doing. Big up to my dad. This is so... I've been realizing this, yeah? Every time I make a dad joke, it's low-key... How do you call it? Coping? Maybe. No, coping is too big of a word. I don't want to say coping. I want to say... I don't know how to say it. Projecting? Nah, I don't know. I don't fucking know. I hope you enjoyed this little first podcast episode. I just looked at the time. And I think we've been here for like 2 hours. Right? I'm not sure. I just see the time. I don't know. Yeah, 2 hours. It's pretty fucking crazy for just talking. I would say I did pretty good for my first episode. First episode on the Yaswede lounge where we're just lounging around. I'll try to make an actual lounge someday in the future when I make millions of money, and then I can buy a chocolate cake for Andrew Tate and give him 10K, and then we can have a discussion about... Nah, fuck it. Never mind. I'm getting too sidetracked. Thank you, everyone, for being here in the podcast. This is a very exciting concept for me. I do enjoy talking about a lot of different concepts. I'm looking forward to do this podcast with a lot of other people in the future. Maybe some Belgian beatboxers first. I want to do some online episodes as well. I want to see if I can get some podcasts done at Beat City, at GBB somehow, right? It would be very, very amazing. Yeah, support the channel, drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe to let the YouTube algorithm know that Yaswede Lounge is a thing to look out for and to help grow into the future. And I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for being here. And we're still here. Yeah, man. See, no, wait, we're still here. And just to end off the podcast really quickly, this makes me happy. I'm super happy that I did this first episode, because it's a step into a new direction for me now. Yeah. So just for all the people who are uncertain and critical of their creation, after you make the first step to making what you have set out to do, when you have been saying this for a while and you do it and you make it and you post it, you're going to be very proud of yourself. You're going to be starting to be stuck in an endless self-love loop, you know? You're going to be proud of yourself. You're going to be like, hey, maybe I should do this more often, right? Makes sense, no? Yeah, just wanted to say that. I'm glad I did this. I hope you're glad I did this. And hey, man, good luck. Good luck. Thank you. Goodbye. I hope I don't miss the button. Are we still here? I don't know.